You don't want your selections to look like this after cutting out a photo in Photoshop. So I want to share 4 helpful sliders and some simple manual refinements that you can use to level up your selections right now. So let's start from square one by creating a new selection. In this image, I'd like to cut out the statue, and to begin my base selection, I'll simply use the Select Subject button within the contextual taskbar. This will load an active selection, but as you can see, it's missing a few areas, so we'll need to further touch this up using another selection tool of choice. In this case, I'll use the Quick Selection tool to quickly add and subtract from this active selection. Selecting the Quick Selection tool from the toolbar here, I can now hold the Shift key and just paint over any areas to add to my selection, or I can hold Alt or Option to subtract from my selection. Since we're trying to focus on refining a selection, I'm just going to skip ahead to when this is finished. But if you want to learn more about using the Quick Selection tool in Photoshop, you can check out this video here. Now that my selection is updated to the best of my abilities, I'll click on my image layer and remove the background by adding a layer mask. With that image layer highlighted, I'll click on the layer mask icon to apply that selection to the layer mask and therefore remove the background. Now at first glance, this selection doesn't look too bad, but when we zoom in, we can see something a little bit different. Looking particularly on this edge of the statue, there's a lot of blockiness around the selection. This will become more obvious in just a moment when we go into the Select and Mask workspace. But the reason that this happens is often when you have a less defined edge and Photoshop isn't totally confident of where that edge actually lies. That is part of the reason why I chose this photo, because the subject that we want to cut out has very similar colors and contrast to the background, which makes it a relatively challenging selection for these more automatic selection methods in Photoshop. But with that understood, we can still go and fix this problem using the Select and Mask workspace. And we can access the Select and Mask workspace by double-clicking on the layer mask of our image layer. Within the Select and Mask workspace, I'm currently within the on black view mode with the black set to 100% opacity. This gives us a much more clear view of the problems around our selection edge. It looks like a total mess, let's just be honest here. To solve this problem, we have 2 different stages. The first stage is to use the brush tool to manually touch up some of these messy areas, and then the second stage is using the global refinements to fix the entire selection overall and make it look a little bit more crisp. So let's begin by adding our brush adjustments. To begin, we'll go ahead and select the brush tool from the toolbar within the Select and Mask workspace. I'll then go up and choose the Add to Selection option, which means that we're going to add visibility to our image layer. Now within the brush tool settings, since I'm painting near a hard edge, I'm going to set the hardness somewhere between 80 and 90%. The size of your brush does not really matter, and you can always change that using the bracket keys. From there, I'm going to go and click and drag to rebuild some of the edges around this selection. But the problem here is that I don't have a very steady hand, and maybe you struggle from the same thing as well. So there's a really easy trick that we can use to rebuild hard edges with total accuracy, and that is simply by using the Shift key. If we click once with our brush, and then hold the Shift key and click again, it's going to connect the dots between our last click between those 2 brush points with a straight line. So that way it's super easy to rebuild a straight edge in small little pieces, and it's like doing connect the dots. So again, if I just click in one spot, hold the Shift key, click again, it'll just continue to rebuild that area, and when you work in small sections, you can rebuild curves and things like that. Now in this current view mode, you might have a hard time to see if you're missing any large features from your original cutout. So that's why I would recommend going to the view mode and setting this to onion skin. Within the transparency setting, I'll drag this down to reveal more of the original image background pixels. That way we can more easily see if we're missing something from the background. Now zooming in, you can just faintly see where there's those transparent pixels around the edge of our subject. So to rebuild these, I'm just going to click, hold the Shift key, click again, and just continue to rebuild these edges slowly but surely. and make those edges crisp once again. You can always switch back and forth between the onion skin view mode and the on black view mode to better see how your progress is going, but this is essentially all we need to do. Just quickly go and touch up the major issues around our selection where it's really blocky, just touching that up with the brush tool. To make your life a little bit easier, you can just hold the shift key and click in multiple areas while holding shift to connect all of those dots. So I'm just going to skip ahead through this process because I'm not doing anything different. It's just going to take a bit of time, and I'll meet you when this is all complete. So now my selection is looking a lot better after some quick brush adjustments. However, we can now take this one step further and help to smooth any of the areas that we did not brush using our global refinement sliders. So this brings us into the second stage of the process. The global refinement sliders can be found over here on the right side of your screen, and we're going to work through all of these sliders in order to help refine the edge of our selection. Now, the smooth slider essentially will reduce the jaggedness or pointiness of different edges around your selection. You don't want to go crazy with this slider because if you go to a really high amount, you'll notice that anywhere that has contours, such as around this post, starts to get really smoothed and rounded. So we want to be sparing with this just to the point that we're reducing any natural jaggedness around the original selection. Next, we'll go to the feather slider, which works just like brush feather, for example, where we're going to add a little bit of blur to the edge of our selection. Now you might be wondering why are we going to do that, but you'll see in just a moment when we use the contrast slider. So by increasing the feather slider by just a little bit, it's going to add a slight blur and therefore reduce any blockiness that we might have around our selection. Now we can go and fix this slightly blurry edge by using the contrast slider. So clicking on the contrast slider, I'll increase this until I'm happy with the sharpness of the edges around my selection. So that already looks a lot better to me right there. Taking a quick look around all of the edges, I'm happy with how that is looking so far. Now the final adjustment that we have to choose is the shift edge adjustment, and this will move your selection edge outwards or inwards by a certain percentage. The reason that you might want to do this is if you have a little bit of fringing, which is that sort of line of colored pixels around a selection, you can remove that by bringing the edge of your selection inwards by a certain percentage. For example, clicking on this shift edge slider, I could drag this down to a negative percentage, and it's going to bring my selection edge inward and remove any fringing. But in this particular case, we didn't have much fringing to begin with, so I'm going to leave this set to 0%. Once you're happy with this, do one final check to make sure that there are no blocky edges left over and you're happy with the sharpness of your selection's edges. With that complete, we can now go to our output settings, and if you're just working on your own project, I would recommend just leaving this set to layer mask, but since I want to compare to the original selection that we started with, I'm going to go to new layer with layer mask as my output setting. I'll go ahead and click OK. Now I'm just going to add a color fill layer so that we can compare the differences between our original and the after. Now taking a closer look to compare our original selection after just using our selection tools and then comparing it to our select and mask adjustments, you can see the massive difference that we have created here. Looking around the top of the statue, you can see how much more crisp that is in comparison. Looking along the sides of our statue, you can see there's some extra pixels in our original, but our after looks a lot sharper and more put together overall. The same thing applies on the opposite side of the statue. The base of the statue is much more clean in comparison to the original, as well as there's no missing pieces around the edge of our selection. All of that is cleaned up and we have a much more crisp selection in our after using the help of our brush tool in the Select and Mask workspace and then the global refinement sliders to bring all of our adjustments together and reduce any jagged edges. To help you remember all of the steps we talked about here, remember to grab a copy of the free lesson cheat sheet down below this video. By downloading that and joining my email list, you'll also get first dibs on all of my other future cheat sheets just like this one. Again, it's totally free and down in the description below. With that, I'll catch you back here next time.